I know Aaron Klein did not just say the first half of this is trash. Boo.
That's funny though.
Yeah, but now we're in the second half, so
They call themselves the Bad Batch.
If you want to pick, here's our promo code. You could sound like Andrew if you buy one of those pigs.
If only that were the case.
See, we could do it. We could do it.
hey everyone, welcome back to another eloquent episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
And I'm Andrew.
and we are back with Bad Batch Season 1, Episode 13, Infested.
Infested.
Yep.
All right.
That was a
Eloquent way
yeah,
to
that was
start it.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
just wait for the one I closed the show
Oh
with.
boy.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited.
You better be excited. So hold off to all it till the end. Don't get when we get to social media. Don't turn us off.
You
I'm
want
gonna
to
make
hear
it.
how
I'm gonna make it quick anyways. So
you want to hear what Jeremiah has to say at the end of
Yeah.
this episode.
All right. Well, anyway, Bad Batch. How'd you guys think this episode went?
Drew,
Did you
go.
like it? Did you hate it?
Let's how about this? Why don't we go ahead and rank it? Let's just go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid
Just
off.
straight up rank it
Just-
without even saying what we would think.
Well, no.
What is
like,
this,
you say what you
crazy
think.
talk?
No. Stop. I'm just saying we don't wait till the end. I'm
Oh.
saying we say this is what I thought, and then boom. Whatever you're.
Wait,
gonna
how about
choose.
we say what we thought and then we'll rank
That
it,
is
and
exactly what I just said.
then we'll go into the breakdown.
That's what I was. Yep.
Oh, I thought you said to tell us like it's put it in the rank and then explain why, and then we go to the breakdown. I thought
Yeah.
that's what you meant.
That's what I thought you said too.
Yeah, you said let's start out with this rank.
Chat,
rank
is
it.
that what he said?
Drew.
We have it. We have it on tape.
Oh.
We have it on tape.
What I'm suggesting is that you tell us what you thought,
Hmm.
then give us a rank.
No, I want you to tell
Then-
me what you thought. Then at the end of it, then we'll give a rank. Then we'll go into the breakdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about this, Andrew? You go first.
Yeah.
Give us an
Okay.
example.
Okay. So I'm gonna give this episode. Gosh. I'll give it a 7. I give it a 7 out of 10. So here's what I thought.
Alright.
Interesting.
Here's what I thought. I don't know if that Jeremiah going, oh, interesting, is like, wow, that's high, that's generous, or he
Or like
loved it and he's
low.
like, wow, that's low.
That's
I
the
guess we'll
trick
find
of
out.
this episode.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I can't really say anything bad about this episode. I can't. Like, I'm trying to think. There wasn't anything in this episode that was like
Why?
the Empire making bad decisions the whole time, or
Mm-hmm.
like something that I can like really get on a soapbox about. Like
there's no soap
logically,
here. No soap.
yeah, logically it made sense. I felt like the plot was pretty strong. The action was nice. The bugs freaked me out because they were the size of like Labradors.
It's a freaking golden retriever flying.
Yeah, but like
They
I
fly now?
also
They fly now.
no, we're not doing
Oh.
it. Dude, Drew, that reminded me of that Vine. Well, back when Vine was a thing.
Vine.
Ooh, vines.
Do it for the
I
vine.
love you and I miss you.
Mhm.
Oh. They put that video over the
Yeah.
cars racing. Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, so there wasn't anything like blaringly bad about it. I can't really say it. Like really and truly, it was a solid episode. But also for me personally, there wasn't anything that stood out as like, oh, this is sick. Like if I go back to The Mandalorian, there was something in every single one of the episodes, season 1 and season 2. Especially season 2, when we were going through it in the podcast, where we'd be like, episode was different and it stood out because of this. Like it stood out because of the ice spiders that happened to be based off Ralph McQuarrie's artwork. And this episode was based on the story of the Seven Samurai, or this episode had Bo-Katan in it, or whatever. But this episode for the Bad Batch, it was just like, this is good. I think this is the closest episode for me that I would get close to labeling it filler. Because I feel like this episode, now I don't know what's coming after this episode. I could be like stupidly wrong. But I am as of right now saying you could take this out and it wouldn't affect the plot so far at all. So by all means, good episode. Very enjoyable, very entertaining. It's Star Wars. It's the Bad Batch. There's some great Sid and Omega moments.
Omega.
But like, I don't know. So far, if we were to sit down and rank all the episodes right now, this would be pretty low on my list. So,
All right, Drew.
Drew, go.
5 out of 10 lightsabers. Andrew
Sorry,
was choking.
for everyone listening to the audio version, that was the sound of me choking. I'd like literally taken a sip and I almost spit my coffee out. I was not expecting it to be that low.
Yeah, it was kind of a waste of time. Like, it's a filler episode unless the guy at the end of the episode somehow shows up in next season or the next 3 episodes. But we have 3 episodes left, and the last episode we left with a very intense scene, and we got this.
Fair enough.
And it was just like, and it also seemed like it was a couple days too.
Well, yeah, because they had been on a mission already.
Yeah, they already been on like a different mission. So it's just like, I don't know. For me, it was just kind of a waste of time. And it was cool and fun, but every other episode that I feel like, oh, it could be like a filler episode, there was always something about it, though, that was like, it took me out of the filler category. But this is like, for as of now, it's 100% a filler episode. There's nothing about this episode that like intrigues me past this episode.
Well, I made a mistake while you were talking.
You spit on your computer?
What? No. Because you were like, yeah, we left on this with this intense episode, and I like completely forgot what the last episode was about.
Gosh.
Like, I've been that busy, dude. And I looked it up on IMDb and immediately saw the thumbnail, and I was like, oh yeah, everything just came back.
Yeah.
But then I saw the name of the next episode.
Yeah, I know the next week's episode.
And I'm willing to bet that this episode doesn't tie into the next episode at all.
You don't think it ties in at all?
No.
All right, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. What's the name of the next episode?
War Mantle.
Yeah. So why was this episode a thing then?
I don't know. Jeremiah, what did you think?
All right, well, here's a little commercial because I
Commercial.
a little like side quest. So you mentioned that you think this is like a filler episode.
Okay.
So I feel like on this show I'm the most like willing to like say it's not a filler because I always like to defend why it's not. And so I learned like what the purpose of an actual filler episode is today.
Okay.
So
Educate us.
the whole
I mean,
point
I know
of,
what it is for anime.
well then there might be some overlap with
Okay, yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
gonna say. But
Please continue.
the whole point of a filler episode is to put out like basically a cheap, low budget story or episode while the main story is in production so they can have more time to producing. So that means a filler episode means nothing in that episode really adds to the story.
Right.
And I don't think we can say that about this episode. For 2 reasons. One, there's a lot of things that actually matter to the story that happen in this episode. Like it does. Like and so there's that, but also this this show was basically in production just to produce the season on its own. It was probably almost complete before it was even released. So they weren't on a timetable of like, oh, we need extra time to produce this, so we're gonna put it in this filler episode.
See,
yeah.
I wouldn't say I don't know if I've ever used the actual technical definition when it comes to Star Wars, because like I don't know of any Star Wars project that has a legitimate filler episode by that definition. Because it's all planned out well in advance.
Yeah,
because filler. Because normally in anime, it's because there's not enough manga content.
Yeah, so they're waiting for writers to produce content so that they can actually put out another episode.
Yeah, and also with like anime and other, because in Japan apparently they don't have clear cut seasons. It just keeps going.
Yeah,
yes.
like
that's why One Piece is like 900 episodes in or something.
Right. I think they almost hit 1,000. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So like if you're drawing and you need like 30,000 images for an episode or something like that, like you need time to complete that, so that they put in like a low budget cheap episodes or arcs or whatever just to catch up. So like I don't think this episode is,
well, by definition it's not a filler, sure.
and I think just because you don't like an episode doesn't mean it's a filler. Like,
well, my basis for saying that is that from my point of view, from my point of view, it doesn't.
That was terrible. You know that.
I'm sorry.
That was.
It could change. It could change. You might have a ton of points that you're gonna explain.
You can sway us.
But to me, based on the trajectory of this story, that other than the little moment where Omega, like her and Hunter had a little conversation at the end, we do get a little bit more of Omega's character. But like, really, if you take this episode out, like you could literally go from last week's episode and go straight to the next one. Even though I don't know what it's going to be specifically, like I would imagine you could just skip this one and the plot wouldn't change.
That might be true, but my argument is that of all the episodes so far in this season, this episode has more implications for a second season. And so that way, therefore, it's not a throwaway episode because it has full intended purpose for future plot points.
I'll entertain it.
Now, if there's not a second season, then I might have to concede that it's a filler episode. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So, but that being said, you know, how would I rank this episode?
Yeah.
I probably agree with Drew. It's probably a 5.
Okay.
So,
that's fair.
Like I agree with everything Andrew is saying. Like, I have no complaints about everything.
No, I don't have any complaints about the episode.
Like, it's like the plot points are good. Like, it's a solid story.
Yeah.
I like the new characters and all that stuff. It's just like and also what Drew said. Like, I was expecting a lot to happen.
Right. We all thought, all three of us agreed the last episode that we were like, okay,
buckle up. We
like,
literally said that.
Buckle up. Yeah.
We said that.
And like, honestly, it would have been great if when they got back to the parlor, it was Crosshair sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh, see?
That would have been so good because he had time to find them because they were coming back from a mission, so it wasn't like they just left Ryloth. So like they could have done this. They could have done the same story in a sense, like having Sid missing and and someone else took over, and it was basically the Empire that took over. Like that would have been a cool way of.
Or they come in the parlor, and there are two cloaked figures standing with their backs to them. Two red lightsabers ignite. The Ithorian and the Weequay turn around, and they've actually been Sith Lords the whole time.
And we got their names in this episode, so that alone makes it not a filler episode.
I don't even remember their names.
Bolo and Ketch.
Is it spelled C-A-T-C-H?
It's K-E-T-C-H. Ketch.
Who's who?
Like ketchup. Like ketchup.
But like B-O-L-O, Bolo?
Yeah.
That's
So
hilarious.
wait, who's who?
I didn't look that up.
Oh wow! So we got names. It means something, but we
I'm
don't
sure
know
like
who.
you could look it up and it would say. But
What name goes to who?
All right.
But yeah. So ketchup and bolo. But
Yeah.
Be on the lookout.
yes, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I just don't. I think it has the most potential for.
Yeah, I could build on next season.
I mean,
I've never
yeah.
even thought about that because my mind is focused on the end of the season.
Yeah.
But you probably do have a point.
Like the first thing, like this morning when I watched the episode, I went on Discord and I went to the Bad Batch thing, and the first thing I typed was Maul confirmed because the Pikes are there and he's in control of the Pikes and all that stuff. So like, I was like,
But is he at this point?
I don't think so.
yeah, he was in charge of the Pike Syndicate in season 7 because they had to go to him saying we lost the spice.
Oh.
And he's like, do you want me to have
That's fair.
Dryden Voss's thing take over or something like that? So he's already the Shadow Collective is the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
What is Dryden Voss's
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn? He's like, do you want me to have Crimson Dawn
Yeah.
take over? So he's already in charge of the different syndicates.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. You're right.
Before
you're
the end of the Clone Wars. So
Yeah.
and he had that whole team on the like when they're in the sewers, like saying, "Hey, we gotta go into hiding," and it's every single leader of those
Yeah.
things. So
No, you're right.
So I was like excited, like this is their connection to Maul. So we're gonna get Maul season 2 confirmed. You heard it here first,
I
folks.
think
You heard it here first,
I
folks.
think confirmed is a strong word.
It's pretty aggressive, but all
But
right.
okay, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going
mean,
to argue with that.
It's on record. If it happens, we're probably the first to say it.
And you know what? They didn't steal for Jeremiah's Bad Batch fan fiction, so at least we don't have to sue them on that part. So
Yeah, I had my lawyer on speed dial, but I guess I won't have to use him.
it's because they have theirs on speed dial too.
Yeah. Anywho, let's jump into our scene by scene deep dive. So we get back. We're back on Ord Mantell, classic Bad Batch setting, and they're back from a mission.
Beautiful shot.
Always. And they're finished their mission. They're all like complaining about the thing because Sid didn't tell them that they were going to be
Gundarks.
Gundarks. Because those are the bat things from episode 5, right?
What? No.
No?
Gundarks are, and I'm like almost sure that we've had this exact conversation.
I feel like we have.
But there's the episode where Anakin and Obi-Wan. Okay, so the whole arc in Clone Wars where Dooku gets captured by Hondo.
Onaka.
Yeah.
And you know how Anakin and Obi-Wan go after him, and they end up in the cave first with the toxic gas.
Sure.
There's the monsters in there. Those are Gundarks. They have like the big, like first set of arms. They have a little set of arms. It's like the combination of like a goblin, a gorilla, and dude.
All right, I can't remember.
Everyone that
but
knows what they
whatever.
are, they're
Don't
like,
they
"Yeah,
mention
it's
that
actually-"
in episode 3 of the movie too? Like that situation or no?
Yes, they. I think it was episode 2 in the elevator.
Yeah, but wouldn't that have been both after or before?
What?
They can run to the same monster more than once.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, those things.
yeah.
Okay.
Jeremiah. Oh, those things.
I just looked it up.
Yeah,
But yes, they're complaining about was it they landed in like a nest of Gundarks or whatever
yeah.
it was.
That's rough.
And so, but they all made it out. They're alive.
I would have preferred to see that, but you know.
That would have been yes. But as they're walking back to the parlor, you can see that there's all these soldiers, type of like.
Yeah. Did you guys catch that pretty quickly?
Well, I caught the two that were staring at Hunter, and he was kind of like looking behind.
I
them,
caught it
like-
right away. I said that to you.
But then you start seeing it before they get to the parlor. Even there's like a lot. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice until the second watch through. But,
yeah.
Oh, I noticed
and
it right
I didn't
away.
even see until the second watch through that Pikes were leaving the office.
Yeah.
Like before they go in, like I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even catch. I must have been looking down, writing on my my notes or whatever. But
That's fair.
yeah,
Thank
so
you
they
thank you for your sacrifice.
you're welcome. And so the whole area is popping. Like it's a lot of prosperity apparently that these crime lords bring. This crime lord brings, and so they go into the parlor.
You know what they say about crime lords?
They bring prosperity.
They do. Yeah, it's a proven fact.
I thought
At
you were
least
gonna
in Star
say
Wars.
they pop.
Well, that too, depending on if you are on their good side or not.
Anywho,
Yep.
so inside the parlor, it's just jam packed, and they're like, "Okay, this is weird. Like, what's going on?" And they go into Sid's office, and there's this guy sitting in her seat with two other soldiers, and right immediately they're pointing guns at each other. And so Sid is gone, but cool connection that this was her previous client that the Bad Batch stole Ruby for.
Yep.
So I thought that was cool that
Yeah.
the full circle because it seemed like it was like it was always just the end of their mission and they're just running away and they do their mission and it's just like nothing, but it comes back around.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, because Omega is like, Ruby, where did you come from? And he's like, I was the one who got her back. Blah 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 blah.
yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I like that they tied in a previous mission
Yeah.
to how that affects them now. But he says he took over and she's out and like, hey, but you guys can work for me now or something like that. And Hunter was like, we'll think about it. Like he's mad. He's mad.
Yeah. He's not happy.
So like they don't know what to do. So like they're like, all right, well, there's nothing here for us. We gotta get out of here. So they're on their way back to H&M and the Bad Batch doesn't care about Sid, but Omega is the one who's most concerned for her. And so she's like, well, we got to find her. And Sid's on the H&M. Like, well, at least one of you guys, what did she say? Like,
Care about me.
care about me or something, talking about her. So that was a good moment because that plays out with Sid's story arc in this episode. And so she explains the whole situation. And so this new guy is named Roland Durand, son of Issa Durand. And he's working with the Pikes to do some spice delivery. And so I'm excited to know more about this Issa Durand. I feel like that's one thing we're going to have in the future. Because like they could have just said like the Durand, like the name, but like the fact they put a first name in there, I feel like
It actually meant something.
it meant something for the future. And, just a threat of like, having problems with the Durand is like one thing, but having issues with the Pikes is a bigger issue type of thing. And so then I think there's a mention of like you don't want to start a war between these two groups or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I honestly think that this is something that's going to happen in like season 2 or something. Like we're going to get more information about this and some conflict, and that's might draw them all out or something like that. So, but she says, "Hey, like this is my territory. We can get it back. I have a secret tunnel that I can go through to get in." So that was very convenient because, like, obviously she's gonna have a way to escape.
It kind of makes sense though because she probably has smuggled multiple things out of there before.
Right.
Like,
Right.
This isn't her first rodeo or anything like that. So
Yeah, and so she's obviously been down in those tunnels before. So, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think it's going to point to something more. But she's like, all right, we got to go through these tunnels, and we're going to sneak into my office. Then we're going to steal the spice, and then, that will drive this Roland guy out because then he's on the run from the Pike, so then I'll get my spot back. So they go down there, and you'd think that something that they do in the show sometimes I don't like is they don't like they reveal details as it's happening rather than like ahead of time. Like she could have said like, "Hey, we're
Hey,
gonna be
guys.
going through this infested area." Like it would have
Yeah.
been made more sense.
I
But
can't hear Jeremiah. At all.
she leaves that to the last moment. But they have to go through it. This whole scene of them
also,
going through
we
like the first time
are
and then
not
under
recording.
chase back really reminded me of Indiana Jones. So did you guys have that same feeling that it was like Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
No. What do you mean, kind of?
Yeah.
Dude, it's classic. Like even the fact that they're in futuristic mining carts, but they still had to do the like. First of all,
True.
okay,
That's
let's-
fair. That's
this
But
is a
that's all
question.
every cartoon like from
No,
like
that-
the
But
50s
this
did
is the thing.
same
This is the thing. Hold on. In the this means okay. Sure, Star Wars is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. However, the vast majority of the Star Wars galaxy is more futuristic, right?
Correct.
We're assuming that they are like thousands of years ahead of us in technology, and yet their mining carts still have a manual lever.
Okay, but
just
that's
in case.
sides.
Just in case.
That's if their thing breaks
Yes.
and they have technical difficulties, they can still get out of there.
And they won't die from those bugs. Spoilers. But it reminded me
Throw that in
of
there really quick.
Harry Potter. Those cards did.
Oh, yeah, Gringotts.
Mm-hmm.
Gringotts.
Gringotts. Charlie.
Yeah, wait, what?
Oh.
No, that's not.
Harry Potter.
Don't maybe do my Dobby voice.
Oh, do it.
I'll-
Dobby.
No, this isn't the time. This is what was that? Dobby.
Dobby.
Anyways, this isn't. Anyways, we're getting off track here. What I was trying to say is yes, it did give me Indiana Jones vibes, and now that you said that, Drew, it also gave me, in hindsight, Harry Potter vibes.
It reminded me of the Harry Potter ride at Universal.
Yeah, well, flex away because I haven't ridden that.
That being said, I feel like they could introduce this kind of ride to Galaxy's Edge or something where you're going through these tunnels and you have to like pump the thing
No.
really fast and
Nope.
get through.
That sounds like a workout. I don't want to do that. I just want to sit.
Not only
and
does it sound like a
relax.
workout, but if at some point there are bugs, you're not going to catch me on that ride.
But they're not real though, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
But
matter.
he's
doesn't matter for me.
What if they do real ones on
Let me
accident?
tell you
Like Locust comes out
what
of
they
nowhere.
no. Here's the thing. Give me. I will straight up go toe to toe until my last breath with a genetically like, dude. Give me a Nexu, I'm down. Give me a Reek or an Acklay, I'll do that. Bugs, and I'm not.
But
and I'm
what
not-
if you have your samurai sword that you almost cut your arm off with? Like,
One, I
Yeah.
don't have that. Well, first of all, the tip was sharp. The edge of the actual blade wasn't. So
yeah, but you
I'm
could
not sure how.
you could power
Why do you
through.
why did you sharpen the tip but not the whole blade?
I didn't sharpen the tip. It came that way.
Either
Well,
way, you
okay,
could power.
well, why would
your,
they do that?
You could power through something.
Yeah.
with enough
Not,
force.
not necessarily.
It's all in the motion, not the it's
Come on, young Padawan,
all-
you should
it's all
know
on the
this.
it's all on the wrist.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I don't, and I'm not afraid of bugs. Like I'm the designated bug killer in my household.
That's
Cheetah
because
finds
your
him?
wife said, "Heck no."
Correct. Cheeto finds him and he
Does
starts
Cheeto
playing
eat
with
them?
him.
Yeah.
No, but he plays with him. And then I'm like, oh, he found a bug, and then I kill it. But let me tell you something: giant bugs,
Kill it.
Nope, it's not happening.
I used to have a cat who would like kill the flies and then like scoop them and eat them, and I would just watch her.
He'll try to lick it or like bite it, and then it like tastes bad,
And
he freaks out and he like pulls his head back and sticks his tongue out or something.
it's probably
But
because they're moving inside his mouth and he can't.
maybe. All I'm trying to say is that I would not ride that ride at Star Wars at Galaxy's Edge because of the bugs. Like, put me on any other Jaws, sure. Jurassic Park, sure. Dinosaurs,
King Kong. King Kong is a good
sure.
ride.
Big move, or big gorillas, sure.
Big move.
Big moves. What I'm trying to say, everyone, is that if there's one thing, dude, I'll even do snakes. I just don't like. I don't like bugs.
Jeremiah likes
giant
snakes.
bugs.
What's wrong with snakes? They're,
Well, a lot of people don't like snakes.
you can cuddle
True.
up with them, everything.
What about spiders?
No. Anyway, speaking of spiders,
Gosh,
when they're going through the tunnel, did you think it was gonna be spiders?
I did.
I did too.
I straight up was like, "Oh no,
So-
Sheila."
So Andrew, was your anxiety going through the roof when you saw those spider webs?
It wasn't going through the roof. I was just preparing myself to be
He
uncomfortable.
was just like this.
Yeah, I was preparing myself. I would much rather have like giant beetles like that we got.
Did you watch this first with Micaiah?
We actually didn't get a chance to watch it together today.
Oh, so you watched
Oh.
it the first time with Drew?
No, I watched it this
Oh.
morning by myself.
I was gonna say it was
over a donut and some coffee.
I just got this picture like you had to pause it and Micaiah to give you a pep talk like you can watch this. You can
You
make
can
it.
do it.
You can
Breathe.
do it. It's not real.
Nah, like
You're
I
like
don't.
doing like birthing stuff, just like trying to.
Dang it, Izzy straight up called me out in the chat. He's like, I like how it takes 10 minutes for Andrew to say he doesn't like bugs. Well, at the very least, it's entertaining.
True.
Hopefully. But here's the thing, like I'm not even really afraid of spiders
Yes, you are.
until they get to a certain size. Like we have little ones in North Carolina all the time. There's
Do you
like
just
scurrying
pop
around
'em?
every place.
Do you
Just
pop 'em?
'em. Just what? Not in my hand.
Oh, why not?
I just smoosh them. I don't want to put that thing in my hand.
Well, okay, so but do you go full thumb, like on it on
No, I
the
just
ground?
go full foot.
Oh,
I don't concern myself with putting my hands down.
I love just killing spiders with my hands because my wife freaks out and I go like this with like the bug on it,
You would.
and then she's like, "Ah!" That's literally what she does every day. It's pretty awesome. But anyways,
Okay. Where were we? So yes, they're going through the tunnel or the system, and they see all the webs, and so, there was that scene when they're going through, and the camera looks up, and you see the opening. I was like,
Yeah.
that hole is definitely going to come into play later on in the episode.
Yeah, they say that a lot with golf too. I'm so sorry.
I don't even
Your face.
I don't even get it. But anyway,
It's very smooth of me to throw that in there.
he's not even smooth anymore.
It
He's,
doesn't matter. It's still a
close.
meme.
I'm gonna have a full beard like next week.
Just keep going. Jeremiah.
but yes, I was like that. I took note of that crack in the ceiling of the mountain. And so when they're going through this, Sid is like, just be quiet. We can't turn the machines on to get us go through that. We have to do it manually. We got to keep quiet. We don't want to wake them up, type of thing. And
I'm over here going, who's it going to be?
we all knew who it was going to be.
Yeah, but like, like, I just wish, one day we get a mission where like
Tech
no one makes a rookie mistake.
or Tech makes a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
That would be good. But yeah,
That'd be interesting.
we all know who it's gonna be.
So Wrecker, he's looking down with his flashlight, and
He pulls a Pippin.
he drops
He
his.
pulls a Pippin.
Freaking Pippin.
I don't know what that reference is.
You don't
Sorry.
remember in the Fellowship when he drops
He pushes over the suit of armor down the well in
an
Moria.
accent, and then it like they're super quiet, and then I'll hear, and it's like,
They like it was actually a bunch of ducks. Yeah.
What? The
Okay, do you remember in the Fellowship when they're in the mines of Moria?
Wait,
And
wait, which movie is that?
The
first
one.
movie. Jesus.
And they're down in the mines, and they're like, "Don't make any noise." Very similar to this episode that we're
Literally
talking about.
the same.
And it's like, yeah, kind of. He's like, "Don't make any noise," and then Pippin backs up and freaks out. And there's like a suit of armor with a skeleton in it, and it literally goes down a well, and just clangs the whole way down the well. And then the goblins wake up.
And they're literally like bugs crawling
And
everywhere.
that's the whole reason why they're running when the Balrog shows up. And then
Balrog,
he does
but yes.
Okay.
Is that
Anyways.
when he says "You shall not pass"?
Yes,
Correct.
Like if you go from that point and you rewind like 10
They have a cave troll. That whole
Right.
scene.
Yeah.
Gosh,
like-
I love Lord of the Rings.
Because I never watched. I took forever to watch Lord of the Rings. I didn't watch it till like 15 years after it came out. And I remember that people always saying like "You shall not pass." Like I was like all excited for this scene whenever it popped up, and it happened, and
And it
he
was
didn't really
amazing.
Do anything? He just yelled at him like Gandalf. Like he didn't use magic ever. Like I didn't. He just was just there. Like I didn't get it.
Well, because magic, it's a different type of magic.
I'm one that kind of like magic here in real life that doesn't.
Oh
not
my
real.
gosh.
Okay, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, this
Okay,
isn't-
okay, this is
we're
not
very
Lord of the
off topic.
Rings
This is very off topic.
podcast episode. That's
Uh,
gonna be for our Patreon. So let's keep it going.
So anyway, Wrecker drops his flashlight and it's cling, 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 bling. Like it just.
It's literally the scene from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay, whatever. But
All the way down, just ting, ting, ting.
It was just very tense, and nothing happens. And okay, we're good. And so, while they're doing this, they ask, "Well, how are we gonna know that Roland isn't in your office when we get there?" Like, and she's like, "I got that taken care of." And I wrote in my notes, "Our boys are the distraction."
How did you write it? Was it BOIS?
Yes.
A.
So
Them boys.
Bolo and Ketch,
Bolo and Ketch.
they have the thing. They're gonna steal Ruby, and that's gonna make Roland run off and leave the parlor. And so the weak way, he has a bowl of Mantel mix, classic.
Which they sell at Target, by the way,
They do.
around 4th of July. Yeah, they had red, white, and blue popcorn, like kettle corn. And I looked down and I was like, this is awful like Mantel mix.
But so they run off after when they realize Ruby's gone, and so Bolo and Ketch, they're trying to like keep it calm inside the cage, and then it bites his finger, one of the guys' fingers, and he drops it, and he gets out, and Ruby screams, and then everyone comes running, and they catch him. But that is enough time for them to get into her office and start stealing the crates of spice. And so, finally, for like maybe like the second time this whole season, Echo does something. He locks the door.
Dang.
Dang, shots fired.
Wow.
Uses little wrench arm, key arm thing, and just locks the door. Like they don't have a little latch from the inside anymore for something. Like apparently you can't do that anymore. But whatever.
That's inconvenient to actually move your hips.
That is true.
You heard it here first, folks.
Locking your door takes the use of your hips. Apparently.
Anyways,
So I thought it was funny because they get back to his office to get in, and the guy can't unlock the door, so he
Okay.
just shoots it. Now I get it.
Hold on.
What?
I want to talk about this for a second. when
Yeah,
you're done saying what
you
you're saying.
mentioned
Because
yeah.
Drew and I had a mini discussion about this when we were doing the watch party.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so in Star Wars, we have seen. I'm sorry, I just started saying something, and then I looked down at the chat to read something, and then my brain was like, it just went on a completely different path.
So in Star Wars,
So in Star Wars, we have seen the blaster being used in both ways, right? We have seen them shut a door, shoot it, and it lock.
Mm-hmm.
We have also seen the door shut now. And this is multiple occasions, and they shoot it and it opens. How does that work? How do you know? At what? There has now, but because of statistics, it is statistically possible that it's somewhere in the galaxy multiple times someone has done that. I mean, I got in, and it just doesn't work. But we've never seen it on screen.
So I would say that when the door is like open and you shoot a thing and it drops and it locks,
Yep.
is because like the electrical system is not working, so the failsafe is just drop and
Yeah.
lock. So that makes sense. But if the door is closed already and they shoot it, it's just no longer just dropping. It's just like it's the mechanism, the default mechanism of it locking.
Yeah.
Like it's because the door doesn't have to drop and close first. It's just breaks the system.
But when he shot it, though, it opened. Like it went, and it just Just skirted
Did
right on open.
The door, but all the doors are automatic though. Like,
Yeah. I think.
I think
if they were down the
it's
hall and they
plot
shot it,
door magic.
if you shot it from down the hall, like the door wouldn't have opened. It would just unlock, and you just have to walk up to the door and it opens.
So are you saying that the sensor above the door is different mechanism from the locking system on the door?
That would probably be the case because that's the way doors work. Well, not necessarily, because when it's unlocked, look, we are getting way too far.
Why? I was just gonna say it's all about the writing. So if you
That's true.
want the door to open, they'll write that the door opens. If they
It's
want
like
it to
how
close,
in some movies, it's like how in some movies a car can be shot like 40 times
and
it
no one
doesn't-
dies.
It doesn't. It's still running.
Yeah.
They're taking that thing on the freaking autobahn just 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then in some movies, a car gets shot once in the bumper, not even close to anything, it just explodes.
Yeah. And yeah, the car in the Autobahn's like always like a Kia Soul, and it shouldn't even be on there because it can't even go that fast. But somehow,
That's fair.
when James Franco gets in there, it starts to drive good.
I have
James-
no idea what's going
Anyways.
on right now. But yes. So my whole point that I was trying to make was that they shoot the door because they can't get in, and they get in, but Roland isn't phased by that they couldn't get in. Like, you'd think that you would know that there's an issue if you can't get in. So he's just so happy that he got Ruby back that he walks in like
Love is
normal.
blind, Jeremiah.
I guess.
Well, I mean, I was also too busy thinking about the door to really notice what happened right after that. So, I mean, like I know what
So
happens.
he's holding her Ruby and looking at her,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
turns and looks, and the spice is gone.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool how right as he's walking in, they're closing the hatch door.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. Just by the skin of their teeth, they get away,
Yep.
and then immediately they just run in where the hatch is and find there's a hatch. So, they jump down there, and they're in pursuit, and
They're in pursuit.
And so they start the Bad Batch and Sid. They're pumping away on the carts, and then the guys from Roland's people they just turn on the machine and they start going. I'm like, oh no, this is it. Giant spiders are coming. They're all dead. End of the show. But it I don't know. I thought it was I was surprised by the earlings, they're called.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting these giant bat bug things that just
Yeah.
swarmed out of nowhere.
I think the big surprise for me, something that I was not expecting, is how easy it is to get your favorite coffee delivered straight to your door. And if your favorite coffee is Wesley Andrews, that's what I'm talking about. You're in luck. So I figured this would be a great moment to take a break and listen to a word from the sponsor of today's episode, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here.
That was
I'm gonna tell you
smooth.
that the sponsor for today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should.
Yeah,
They're an
David,
award-winning
I
coffee
thought that
roaster
might have been
shop
like a
in
young
Minneapolis,
Visago.
Minnesota, and they
It's
make
not.
fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that they have a subscription service that gets those amazing coffee beans delivered to
Comes
your
out of
door
nowhere. You never know where it's
either
going to come from.
weekly,
Just
bi-weekly, or a monthly basis. Unfortunately, we're all being negatively affected by this virus right now. But that being said, what a better time to try some new coffee and support a local
depending on
business.
how this
I know they'll greatly appreciate it.
this
and we
Delta
will
variant
too.
goes.
After all,
we
you
might
can
not be
go to
changing the
Empire
ad.
Radio with a capital E and capital
Yep.
R with no space at checkout. When you
What's
start
the
a new
over-under of
subscription,
shutting back down?
wesleyandrews.cc, you'll get
I still
50%
don't
off
understand
your
that
first purchase.
concept, by the way.
I can't
Okay.
think of a better deal. Get 50% off.
Oh, thank
support
you.
local
What don't you
Minneapolis coffee
understand?
shop, and support
Like,
your
how does that
favorite
work?
Star
What is
Wars
the
podcast.
over under? Like, what is that?
In the words
You
of
give a
Emperor
percent
Palpatine,
of happening, and you say a higher or lower percent.
So, do it.
Do it.
Get some
Uh,
coffee.
Yep. So all of these earlings, they pop out, and they're
Yep.
just chasing and attacking. And I thought it was really weird that they were like grabbing the crates of spice. Like,
Yeah.
I-
They don't know what it is. It could be burgers. I'd be grabbing a crate full of burgers, dude.
oh,
That's fair.
okay. I didn't know you were that kind of person stealing from people, but whatever.
No,
okay.
I mean if burgers are involved.
Would you say you're a hamburger?
Get out. Get out. Okay. All right, please continue, please.
Hey, I didn't. It would have been better if I invented that term, but he's a
True.
long existing character already.
Mm-hmm.
Also from Disney, right?
What?
No.
McDonald's?
McDonald's.
The Hamburglar.
It's from McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Bro, stop. It's
No,
not
I
from
know-
Disney.
No, I thought that. What wasn't he inspired by the guy from Popeye though?
I don't-
What?
Wasn't there a hamburger guy that all he ate was hamburgers and like stole hamburgers?
Bro,
Like,
I'll tell you one thing. We have been
Who's the hamburger guy in-
kings of tangents today.
Just like this episode, it's a
wasn't
filler.
there a hamburger guy in Popeye? What did you say?
Hamburger guy and pop. Oh, hold on.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Am I getting? I must be. I know Hamburglar is from
But
McDonald's.
does
but
Disney own the rights to Popeye now?
I thought they own everything. Okay,
I thought
everything except for Warner
Oh,
Brothers.
Jay Wellington Wimpy. No, he doesn't. No.
Does
it's
he eat
not the
hamburgers
same.
or something?
He does eat hamburgers a lot, yeah.
I guess like
But
combine two characters.
Yeah, it's the Hamburglar from
McDonald's.
McDonald's, and they did have a running TV show, and my little brother loved it.
All right. So they're stealing crates and dropping them, and then they start doing like these drastic things where they're slamming on the brakes, and then people are crashing and falling to their death. So
well, that was before the earlings came out.
oh, there's that too. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yes. So people are falling to their death. They're getting attacked by earlings.
Yep.
And Tech, he flashes his light at one of them and it flies away really easily. And so he's like, quick, they're afraid of the light. Pull out your... He used a weird word.
Torch.
Torch. Like, is that something that they say in Star Wars?
No, but it's something they say outside of the United States.
Really?
Yeah, we're like one of the only countries that's like, oh, it's a flashlight.
But a torch, like...
Yeah,
Then what do they call a torch outside the United States?
a torch. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use a normal torch because we have electronic torches.
True.
That's why you should use a word that's used for something you do more commonly rather than...
Well, their measurement system makes more sense.
True.
So
Mm,
we're the only country, Jeremiah.
we're not the only country. We're one of like 3 countries that use a standard system.
Either
That-
way.
That
And it's
doesn't help.
called the standard system,
Ugh.
not the unstandard
Oh,
version. So
you're such an American. All right, let's keep going.
so yes, they get away. They're able to, with the lights, to push them back a little bit to the point where they can get to the door that they went through. And so
Yep.
Wrecker, he locks the door.
Yep.
And they return to the parlor, and then so how do the Pikes are at?
Okay. This
Oh,
is-
we missed over a whole part. Sorry. So Omega was held back at the parlor with.
Nope.
I'm getting-
You're jumping. You're jumping.
I'm-
No, you
I'm-
were on the right track. So they leave.
So they get to the parlor,
they-
and then what happens?
Okay, so hold on. So they get back to the parlor. This is the thing. If I was gonna pick one thing in this episode that I'm like, you dingus, why did you do this? It was this. Okay. They got done. They dropped the spice. Spice is down in the web or whatever, the stuff, silk or whatever. They leave. Hunter's like, forget the spice. Shut the door. So they leave. They go back to the parlor. They go immediately back to the parlor. Like, they didn't check to see if the deal was done. They didn't wait to see if the Pikes like left. No. They show up to the parlor right as the Pikes are walking out with Durant in cuffs. And I'm like,
Right. Yes.
your timing is terrible. Because like you literally show up at the exact moment where he can go, this is the person that stole your spice. He can literally point at you. And I'm like, dude, if you just waited 3 hours, he would have been gone. They would have been gone. Whole thing would have been settled. But no, they went straight back. And that's when the Pikes walk out with him. And he's like, she's the one who stole the spice. And then there's another standoff. And she says, don't do that. The Pikes, you don't want the Pikes as enemies. And one of the Pikes is like, all right, just kill him. And Hunter's like, whoa. We can get it back. So we'll go get it back. And then that's when they're like, yeah, but it stays with us.
Right.
And they very reluctantly agree to that arrangement.
So something that I noticed, I don't know if it meant anything, but when they say the girl Omega has to stay, when they all draw their weapons, Tech was the last one to draw his weapon. Like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to care about her. Like, draw his weapon last. Do you notice that? Or
I didn't.
I didn't.
Do you think that was like on purpose, or you think it was just,
Probably.
like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to care about the girl. Here, I'm gonna pull my gun. I thought it was just kind of like that's what I thought when I saw that, but I'm probably just reading into it too much. But,
Probably.
yes. So Omega and Roland are held captive at the parlor while Sid and the crew go and recover the spice. And so they go to that crack in the ceiling of the mountain, which I noticed earlier in the episode, and they rappel down and to get the crates of spice. And so was the reason they had Wrecker do it is just because he was strong and could.
Correct.
Because earlier in the episode, when they steal the spice from the office, Hunter is able to hold a whole crate by himself and lower it down the hole.
Right.
So, like, obviously it wasn't that heavy when Hunter could have done it. So I was like, why are they having the biggest, clunkiest guy who's scared of heights rappel down?
He's the muscle.
Maybe it was just so they could do that scene where he screams over the radio, help, 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 or whatever it was.
Probably.
But so they get the crates, they pull them up, and so on the last one going up, Sid's crate and her bump into another cart and drop it, which I didn't think made sense because the line is going down straight to the same spot every time.
Maybe, but the ship could have moved a little bit.
Maybe
Hovering like that isn't perfect.
But like, even then, like, if you're being repelled up, you're gonna look up to see if there's anything like in your way as you're going up.
Not if you got a hive of bugs underneath you.
True.
Well, yeah, but if you're trying not to hit things to wake them up, literal 2 seconds of going, oh yeah, a little to the left would be a little better. But
It's a cartoon.
that is true. And so that cart falls, wakes up all of the earlings, and they start flying up and going crazy.
Pippin again.
And while this happens, or during this whole thing, when they're gathering the thing, Tech is working on a device.
I knew it was going to be a light bomb.
Right. And so when they're again attacked, he is like, all right, hopefully this should work. And he drops it down. And I was expecting a bright light. But this was brighter than the sun. Like, you'd rather, like,
Okay.
like, look to the sun. It's not as bright type of thing. Like, it was a huge, like, very high. What's the lumens? Is that the
Very correct. Very high lumen level.
luminosity? Is that
Luminosity. That's also a luminara.
Ooh.
Luminara confirmed season 2
Oh my
of Bad
gosh.
Batch.
Dude. Yeah. Okay.
So they get the spice, they bring it back to the landing bay or whatever, and so the Pikes were like, I always thought the Pikes were a little gracious to the Bad Batch. Like, You deliver displays like everything's good. Like I was surprised that they were that gracious, but they were not so gracious to Roland.
Nope.
And so, do you think they cut their head off before they showed there was his horn? Did you think they actually went that far?
Kind of,
for
maybe.
a split second, yeah.
Well, it was had to have only been for a split second because that's how long the scene was.
Then yes.
Well, I thought they totally did it. Like I was convinced, and then a split second later, I was wrong. But, what do you guys think of them taking one of his horns?
It's kind of gross.
I don't know. I was wondering how much pain he was going to be in, or if it's like a fingernail type thing, you know, where there's not nerves in it.
Well, true,
Because he screams, but I don't know if that's because of the shock or if it's because it was painful.
but in
But it's-
Mandalorian season 1, episode 6, when the
What's
same
his-
species has horns
yeah.
cut off, when they're all trapped together, he's like touching his horn like it hurts.
Oh yeah. Well,
Also,
so
it's not like a deer antler. Like it doesn't regrow. It's like a horn that slowly grows over a long period of time. So it definitely probably hurts, I would assume. Like
Yeah.
you can't go and cut off like.
It felt like, similar, not the same, but it felt similar to cutting off a samurai's top knot. Like it's like a
Well, oh, yeah.
public, it's like a public declaration that you
done
part
messed
of
up.
your honor. Yeah, a part of your honor's been taken. Because like he has to wear that around now. You know.
Yeah, like everyone knows that he has that happened to
Do you
him.
think that? So what is that species called? There's a D, right?
Deveronian.
Deveronian. Like, do you think the cutting of the horn in that culture is shameful, or do you think the Pikes did that so that every time he saw that in the mirror and felt his head, like he knew it was the Pikes, and to be afraid of the Pikes and remember how dangerous the Pikes are? Or do you think
I
it's
don't
both?
know. I think it's a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna
I mean,
say.
because,
I'm gonna
like,
lean towards a little bit of both,
He would have had to have gone back and seen his mother at some point,
which he
and
talked about.
and obviously, like, what dude, you only have one horn. What the heck? You know, you have to explain that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, what do you guys think of Roland as a character?
I thought he was in over his head. I
Over his
thought-
horn.
You got you at
No,
Ah, gosh dang it.
no, no. I need something better than that. But I would say he was interesting because it felt even from the beginning like he was trying to prove himself, trying to play a part that he wasn't used to playing yet. Like it felt like he wasn't yet crime boss material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought he was an interesting character. He didn't fully fall into the like, oh, this dude's an antagonist, like crime boss thing, especially after the conversations that he has with Omega. Because like he immediately softens up to her the second Ruby takes a like, or shows her affection for her. So like a Hutt wouldn't do that, or a Pike. No, they're not going to show that side. So he's interesting for sure.
I think that because like the episode ends with, because when their Pikes are about to cut off the horn, like Omega's pleading for his life basically. Like it was just a mistake. Like don't make a big deal out of it. Like it's over with. But at the end, like the last scene is like Hunter's like, why'd you care about him after what he did to us? And she's like, well,
Yeah.
Ruby likes him, so maybe he's not all bad.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like he's kind of like, seems like he was reluctant the whole time. Like he was doing this because of who his mother was, not because he wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's setting up for him in the future to come back as an ally of some sort.
Yeah, maybe.
Because obviously he's going to have a lot of connections throughout the galaxy. And so
That's fair.
did it say at all, like, what is he basically the same as Sid, like hiring, like what exactly is the crime syndicate that he's part of? Like
Well, it's his family.
well, I know, but like, what do they do?
They
Did
didn't
they,
really
did they say that?
It was kind of like a general, like, they do the crime thing. So you would assume, like, oh, spice, robberies.
We know that they do spice. That's for sure.
Yeah, like, taking advantage of the poor and oppressed. I don't know.
Right. So I feel like somehow that whole syndicate is going to come into play in a future season, assuming
The
it does.
Duran family.
Yes.
Duran.
Duran.
I thought it was with a D, like at the end,
Durand, maybe.
But I should probably look at the credits more closely after every episode.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if anyone else knows this, but I feel like that Roland, like his just like the physical look that they gave him, I feel like they took Admiral Rampart's face, made it green, and changed like the chin a little bit and added horns, and it was basically the same base
Oh,
face.
that's funny. I didn't even.
I was like, that
I
kind of looks like Rampart a little bit. Like
I
they
didn't even realize that.
like I don't know, cause like like in that episode with when they go to Raxus and then
Yeah.
all the people in the crowd, someone like saw like the same character like 20 times, but they just changed the facial hair, changed the color of the skin.
Yeah, dude. Heck yeah, you can reuse a model. Do
I
it.
know. I'm just saying, like, I thought it was just funny that like they
Yeah.
didn't want to like make a completely new character for Roland. They just change Rampart, which, hey, save a buck or two, right?
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause-
for
'cause
sure.
Disney's
And time.
Disney's struggling right now, so
Yeah,
True.
I mean, why else would they take down our merch? Never mind.
Oh.
Anyways, please continue.
But yes, but also lastly, I think, what do you guys think of the relationship between Sid and Omega in this episode?
I thought it was a nice development and a logical development.
I feel like it was kind of what we already knew.
Yeah, I don't know if it.
It
I don't
didn't
know if
really build for me at all.
I think we got like 3% more depth.
Only 3, huh?
Yeah, I don't.
I feel like because Sid basically put her life on the line for Omega, which I think for Sid's character to do something like that is big because she's just cutthroat. Like, she doesn't care. She's all about profit.
I don't think she's as cutthroat as
I don't think she's that
she would like.
cutthroat. She tries
like people to
to
believe. Yeah,
come across like that. I've never thought she
Yeah.
was that cut.
yeah. There have
I've
been a
never
few other
found
moments-
Sid as an aggressive, intense character ever.
Yeah,
I
I-
always
there've been a few other
picture
moments
the
where
monster from Monster Inc. Like, that's all. Every time she talks, I just think of the old lady.
Agent 0 or 1 or whatever, the
Yeah.
old lady.
yeah. I think she showed affection towards them in her own way a few times before.
Yeah.
I
By
just-
gi-
Roundabout way.
By giving them nicknames and, like, it's like a fun thing that she does with them. Like, I've never found her super unreasonable or aggressive. Like, I think they're trying to make that across, but I've never felt like that.
I don't know. I just feel like her relationship with the Bad Batch is going to be different than all the other people she hires. And I think,
Oh yeah,
I think
Oh,
that's
for
gonna,
sure.
I think that's going to play out in the future too, where she's going to be, because she makes the threat of like, I'm good at keeping secrets again in this episode, but like, I feel like in the future she's going to be see him more as family than a third party
Probably.
mercenary group.
Yeah.
And it's because of Omega that she's the one that
Correct. Well,
Drives
she's
her in.
always liked Omega, even from when they first met her.
yeah
'Cause
like she's
she-
a smart one of the group
Yeah.
that she figures out that she
Yeah.
was
Sid.
Sid.
You know, so like that's why for me, like, maybe this episode was supposed to bring them closer, like to show the audience, But for me, I've always knew that since that first interaction, so it didn't really build for me at all.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. That's all I got.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
Well, we already ranked it.
Like I said, this was kind of I mean, again, well produced,
Yes.
entertaining, action packed, fun, humorous even. But I'm
Lord of the
waiting.
Rings filled.
I want some gut punches. Like I'm ready for some intense
Next week is
I'll believe it when I see it.
well, we know the
Well,
title, so
we
it's
know the
definitely
That's true. That's fair.
It's
That's a big
definitely because War Mantle is the transition from clone to enlisted army.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yep.
that's the whole mission
Point.
of that. So something's going to go down that's going to cause the Empire to say we're going to be initiating recruitment officially. So
give me a cliffhanger. I want a good cliffhanger. Give me something juicy that I have to wait another week for,
ooh, what if they kill off a Bad Batch member next week
You
at
know
the
what?
very end?
When in doubt,
Kill someone off.
What?
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 Okay.
Cliffhangers,
So
what?
anyways, so what we're trying to say is that you can connect with us on the internet.
True.
And there are many. We have a lot of social medias. We have a lot of different ways that you can connect with us. I'm going to list them off really quickly here, and then I'm going to tell you how to get to all of them simultaneously. So first, we have Instagram at Empire Radio Podcast. Next, we have Facebook at Empire Radio Podcast. We have YouTube, Empire Radio, a Star Wars podcast. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/Empire Radio. And we have our own Discord account as well. And you can leave us a voicemail. So the last three of those, the Twitch, the Discord, and voicemails are the most direct ways to get in contact with us. We do stream the live recordings of all of these episodes on the twitch.tv/Empire Radio account every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, and every Friday, as long as the Bad Batch is running, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. But if you have any questions about any of those things, or you're looking for the link to join the Discord or the link to click to leave us a voicemail, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, go down to the description. There's a section that says connect with us. Click the link. It's literally, the company is called Links, LIINKS. It's like links /Empire Radio or something.
It's like
that.
Luke with 2 U's.
Correct. Or Joris Sabaoth. Like Joris, but he had 2 U's because he was a clone in the Thrawn trilogy originally. So anyways, just click that link. It's a landing page for all of our other links, including our social media accounts. So that's going to be the best way to get in touch with us. You only have to remember one thing. Just click on that link in the description. There you go. And that link is also in our Instagram bio and in the About Us section on our Twitch page.
All right.
So yeah, there you go. If you haven't done anything, join the Discord,
For sure.
because that's going to be the best way to connect with us and to connect with our entire community on there. That, if I do say so myself, is pretty awesome.
True.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Anything else, boys, for this episode today?
No.
Nope, I think I'm good.
All right, then. You have been listening to another Off the Chain episode of
Oh
Empire Radio.
gosh.
I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
And I'm Andrew.
and may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.